Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel today. And I've been asked to make a video about how I function, how I have kind of taken a lot of the things that they talk about Klinefelter syndrome and create workarounds for them, and how I've kind of just functioned throughout life. So basically, this is the office of the nonprofit organization. So everything you see, from the website to the YouTube, podcast, social media, all the back end of all the websites, the donations, the receipts, like pretty much the entire nonprofit is run by me through this desk. I have two board members that are amazing, Daniel Melchef and Marcy Tatham. Marcy helps with getting projects. She's our secretary. She does our meeting minutes. Daniel helps with more of the creativity stuff. He helps with building the documentary series, and he's working on a project with Getty Images. But when it comes to the nonprofit essentials and everything else, from building the website, it's all been done here. And they say on Klinefelter syndrome that we struggle with everyday functions or executive functions. And I've just learned throughout my time, throughout my life, on if I can't do something, I just keep trying. I keep trying to figure out how to do it. And like right now, I'm working on building a blog from a mom's story that was written for us, and how to add photos in and then schedule the blog, then have a post go to social media. So when the blog launches on the website, all of you on social media have access to, hey, we have a new blog. It's definitely been really difficult learning all these trial and errors. And sometimes, for instance, I did an email signature, and the trial and error to build the email signature took me like 4 hours, but I finally figured it out. So everything that you kind of experience on the front end of the nonprofit organization is done like literally right here. I use sticky notes. They're all over the place. The sticky notes on this board over here is color coordinated with all of our volunteers, and then what they've offered to do and how they've offered to help. And then kind of the sticky notes all throughout my desk are all the major things that I need to get done, or reminders on so many things, because there's like 50 to 100 things going on with the nonprofit organization. Sending out, like right here, this one in capital letters is send donor receipts. So as soon as a donation comes in via check, I go to our mailbox, I check the mailbox, we get checks. So we get checks from people like this, personal checks or checks from other networks or grants, from families. We haven't actually applied for any grants yet. And then I print out a receipt, I write in the donation amount, and then I mail it. I physically get a stamp, put it on an address, and I mail it to that family so they have the receipt. So each one of those projects, it all has a task, it all has like a process to do it. And so sticky notes have been like a really awesome reminder for me on like what I need to do to get this done. My girlfriend wrote me one that just says, have a nice day. So throughout all the stress and the 70 hours that I work a week volunteering my time, I'm able to also think about other people and not just work. So what else? You have any questions for me?
Yes. So how have you figured out how to make this work setup work for you?
Well, it's kind of cluttered. It's kind of all over the place, and that's how kind of my brain works. And I know where everything is because I'm visual. It's all been by trial and error. So it's literally been like the first website that I built, I just started and I figured I would just went through the website and everything I needed to do. So when it came to understanding that I wanted to start a nonprofit, I just found a checklist online of everything you need to do to have a nonprofit organization. And I literally just started at the list and at the top of the list and just worked myself down. And, I think lists have been amazing. and it's just through trial and error. I mean, I fail a lot, but I learned so much from my failure that I just learned that sticky notes, and these are like the Gorilla Extreme sticky notes, so these stick anywhere and they stay up. The other sticky notes, when you stick them up, they eventually fall after a period of time. And so some of these sticky notes have been on my desk since the nonprofit organization started.
Awesome. So what would be your best piece of advice for, I don't know, for parents that just receive a diagnosis for their son and Google suggests that your son may grow up and have a lot of challenges in school, in the workplace, getting everyday tasks done? What would be your best advice for them?
Everybody has challenges. It's about how the workarounds that you're able to find. So the world, let's say the world is built like a square and I'm a round, a square peg in a round hole. Like, I've figured how to fit through, how to fit into other areas that I know nothing about, or I've had to adapt my entire life to make the way I learn and the way I do things, to make it understandable for me. And a spreadsheet for someone, this might be totally off. Like, somebody would look at this and be like, what is this? But for me, this is how I learn. This is how I get stuff done.
That is your spreadsheet.
Yeah, that is my spreadsheet. And so it's just creating workarounds and giving your son, or just receiving a diagnosis, like giving your son all the tools he needs to be able to use them and build his own structure.
Cool. So this reminds me a lot about when your dad had his own workaround when you were growing up. And do you want to share that example of the big words on the posters?
Yeah, there's actually a YouTube video. So if anybody's interested in watching, there's a specific YouTube video on our channel about that. And basically, I'm visual, and he figured out that if he would do on a piece of paper, he would write out a big word, and he would put like just breaks in the word. They weren't necessarily where the syllables went, but and he would write like 3 letters in one color, 4 letters in another, and 5 letters in another color, and he'd hold it up to me for 10 seconds, have me visualize the word, and then put it down and ask me to spell it. And so my parents found out workarounds for how my brain worked, and then I've just carried those workarounds through. Those workarounds have taught me how to create my own workarounds. And throughout my whole life, there's been people that have, doctors and other, friends and other people that have said, you're never gonna be able to do this, or you're not gonna amount to anything. And I even had people in the community starting this nonprofit that told me I'm gonna get burnt out, that I'm not gonna succeed. And I didn't even know these people coming into this community. And so I just have that hard work ethic where I don't take no for an answer, and I will find out if it doesn't work for me the way everybody else teaches me to do it, then I find out how to do it my way. And people will tell me that my way is not the proper way to do it, but my way is the way that works for me. And if I get it done, once I figure out how to actually do it, I usually get it done actually faster, more efficient, and even better than people that were taught like the traditional, like in a box way of thinking. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right.
That's
well,
awesome.
Hopefully all you guys, I know it's a long video, but there's a lot of detailed information, and this is a lot of hard work. It's sitting in a chair and doing all this, but when all this is set up and running smoothly, we can bring more people on, we can hire people as the nonprofit grows, and we can get back out there and meet more people, travel, and have awesome meetups, and just have a really good time.